Politicians spend their careers choosing every word carefully, but sometimes they forget one thing: the microphone is still on. And when that happens, one sentence can wreck an entire campaign. These are the hot mic moments that destroyed political careers. Mike Duvall was a Republican state assemblyman in California. He represented a conservative part of Orange County. He was married, he had a family, and he had an 100% rating from a conservative pro-family organization. On paper, he looked like a family values Republican, but then a microphone in Sacramento told a very different story. In July 2009, Duvall was sitting in a California Assembly hearing room before a committee meeting started. He was talking casually with another assemblyman. He clearly thought his conversation was private, but the hearing room cameras and microphones were recording, and Duvall began bragging in graphic detail about sexual encounters with women who were not his wife.
I've been getting into spanking her. You are? Yeah, I like it. Does she? Yeah, I want to spank her. She goes, I know you'd like to spank it. That's because you're such a bad girl. So her birthday was Monday, so I was 54 and she was 14, so for a month, she was 19 years younger than me. Oh, yeah, sure. I thought she was hot. I talked to her yesterday. She goes, so are we finished? I go, no, we're not finished. And I go, but you know about the other one. The other one don't know about you.
The tape aired in September 2009, and the fallout was immediate. Within hours, Duvall was stripped of committee positions, and less than 24 hours later, he resigned. The story got even bigger when reporters said one of the women may have been an energy lobbyist, and Duvall served on a committee that dealt with energy issues. So what started as an embarrassing hot mic moment quickly became a question of judgment, ethics, and influence. And just like that, Mike Duvall's political career was over. The next one is more recent, and this time the hot mic did not just expose one politician, it exposed an entire room. In 2022, a leaked audio recording shook Los Angeles politics. The conversation had actually happened in 2021 inside the offices of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. In the room were some of the most powerful Latino political figures in Los Angeles, all of them Democrats. Nury Martinez, the city council president, Kevin D. León, a city councilman and former California Senate leader, Gil another councilman, and Ron Herrera, the head of the County Labor Federation. They were discussing redistricting. They were talking about political maps, voting power, and how to protect their influence. But someone secretly recorded the conversation, and when the audio leaked almost a year later, it caused absolute chaos. In one part, Nury Martinez is talking about a white colleague's adopted black child, calling him an accessory, while Kevin D. León chimes in comparing him to her Louis Vuitton bag.
It's an accessory. When we do the MLK parade,
just like when
they used to have those statues in plantations.
Yeah, like when Nury brings her Goyard bag or the Louis Vuitton bag.
But it only got worse. Later in the recording, she calls the kid Chinguito, which means little monkey in Spanish. Then she says flatly, "This kid needs a beatdown. I'll take him around the corner and I'll bring him back."
Black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. The kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito.
Translation: little monkey.
They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Beyond this, the group also made remarks about Jews, Armenians, and other ethnic groups. You can look up the full audio if you want. After this, Nury Martinez resigned as council president, then left the council completely. Ron Herrera resigned from the Labor Federation. President Biden called for resignations.
He believes that they all should resign. The language that was used and tolerated during that conversation was unacceptable, and it was appalling. They should all step down.
Protesters shut down council meetings, but Kevin D. León refused to resign, and that kept the story alive. He was censured, followed by protesters, and later got into a physical fight at a holiday event while he was wearing a Santa hat.
We begin with breaking news tonight involving embattled city council member Kevin De León.
New video has surfaced showing the councilman in a violent fight tonight. Here is that video. Take a look. It was posted by Roots Action on Twitter. The altercation happened tonight during a tree lighting ceremony in Lincoln Heights, attended by families, including children.
Then in 2024, voters finally removed him. He lost his city council seat to Isabel Girardo. The recording had sat unreleased for almost a year, but once it hit the internet, it helped bring down some of the most powerful political figures in Los Angeles. In 2014, Michael Grimm was a Republican congressman from New York, representing Staten Island and parts of Brooklyn. He was also a former Marine, a former FBI agent, and at the time he was facing questions about a campaign finance investigation. Right after President Obama stated the Union address, Grimm was doing an interview with NY1, and when the reporter asked him about an ongoing investigation, Grimm didn't answer. He walked away mid-question. But as the reporter kept talking to the camera and explained that Grimm had refused to answer, Grimm heard it. He turned around, he came back, and the cameras were still rolling.
Just finally, before we let you go, since we have you here, we haven't had a chance to kind of talk about some of the...
I'm not speaking about anything that's off topic. This is only about the president.
Well, what about...
Thank you.
All right, so Congressman Michael Grimm does not want to talk about some of the allegations concerning his campaign finances. We wanted to get him on camera on that, but he, as you saw, refused to talk about that. Back to you. Why?
Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again in 3 years.
I just wanted to ask you. Why? It's a valid question.
You tell me what. No, you're not man. You're not man. Like a boy.
After that clip went viral, Grimm apologized within 24 hours, but the investigation he was trying to avoid did not go away. A few months later, he was indicted on fraud, tax evasion, and perjury charges connected to a restaurant he had owned in Manhattan. And here's the irony: Grimm was a former FBI agent who once investigated white-collar crime. Now he was the one being investigated for white-collar crime. He still won re-election in 2014, but just weeks later, he pleaded guilty to felony tax evasion. Then he resigned from Congress and was later sentenced to 8 months in prison. He would later be pardoned by Donald Trump. Ike Skelton was a Democratic congressman from Missouri. He had served in the House for more than 30 years. By 2009, he was chairman of the House Armed Service Committee. He was known as a serious, old-school bipartisan lawmaker. Not exactly the kind of guy people expected to get caught swearing on C-SPAN. But that's exactly what happened. In October 2009, the House was debating a major defense bill. Inside that bill was a hate crimes provision that expanded federal protections to include violence against gay people. Republican Congressman Todd Atkins strongly opposed it. He called the provision poisonous and accused Democrats of using blackmail. Skelton responded on the House floor and defended the bill. Then, after finishing his official remarks, he turned slightly away and muttered something he clearly did not think the public would hear.
A friend, the chairman of the Subcommittee on Strategic Forces, Mr. Lungeman. So stick it up your ass.
Republicans immediately demanded an apology. Skelton's office said the comment was made out of frustration and was never meant to be broadcast. But the timing could not have been worse. The 2010 midterms were coming, Democrats were already facing a massive backlash, and the Tea Party wave was building. 1 year later, after more than 3 decades in Congress, Skelton lost his seat. The hot mic moment didn't single-handedly end his career, but it came at the worst possible time. Our next hot mic moment did not happen in America. It happened in the United Kingdom, and it helped wreck a prime minister's campaign. Gordon Brown was the prime minister of the United Kingdom and the leader of the Labour Party. In 2010, he was fighting to stay in power. The election was close, Labour was struggling, and Brown had a big problem. Voters thought he was cold, distant, and disconnected from ordinary people. So his campaign tried to fix that. They sent him out to meet real voters, not just friendly crowds, not staged supporters, real people. And that's how Gordon Brown met Gillian Duffy. Gillian was a 65-year-old lifelong Labour voter in Rochdale. She spoke with Brown on the street and asked him about issues like pensions, crime, education, and immigration. To her face, Brown was polite. He smiled, he answered her questions, he acted like the conversation went fine. Then he got into his car. But Sky News had placed a microphone on him earlier, and nobody turned it off.
It's a disaster.
What?
Well, just... Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
No, I didn't see.
Sue, I think. It's just ridiculous.
I'm not sure they'll go with that one.
They will go with it.
What did she say?
Oh, everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman that said she used to be Labour. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
The whole point of the campaign stop was to show Brown connecting with ordinary voters. Instead, the public heard him privately insult one. The timing could not have been worse. It happened just 9 days before the general election. Brown apologized on air, then went back to Jillian Duffy's house to apologize in person. But the damage was done. The story became known as Bigotgate and followed him through the final days of his campaign. Labor lost that election. Brown resigned as Labor leader, and he never returned to elected office again. Our final hot mic moment took place at a local water board meeting in Morgan County, Kentucky. But that is exactly what makes this interesting, because it proves in the age of live streams, even local officials can destroy themselves overnight. Donalda Harper was a member of the Morgan County Water District Board. In April 2026, a resident named Caitlin Haney came to a board meeting asking for county water service to be extended to his property. He had apparently been asking for help at previous meetings too. He made his case during public comment. Then he left the room. But the meeting was still being live streamed. The microphone was still on, and Harper said exactly what she really thought.
So I asked him, how far did they drill down to hit water for his house? And it was going to cost too much to drill it down too far, but he don't care if it's going to cost us arm and leg to put water to his house. I don't care if that little shit ever gets water so bad.
The clip spread quickly. The board chairman said Harper's comment did not represent the full board. Harper apologized on Facebook, but by the next morning, she had resigned. That's the new reality of politics. You do not have to be in Congress. You don't have to be on national TV. If you're a public official and the mic catches you talking bad about the people you're supposed to serve, your career can end overnight. Thank you for watching.